Welcome to Sapphire Ridge News. Give people a few minutes to pile in, and then we'll see if we can get this horse out the barn. So, we have an update on the Gene Hackman and Betsy Kawa unaliving. Um, it's looking, well, to me, this is my opinion, that it's looking more and more like, hey, Julianne, hold on. It's looking more and more like something sinister went on. And um, I've been watching some updates on YouTube about it. The whole thing from the beginning was rather sinister. At least I think it was sinister. And here's why I say the whole thing is sinister. Okay, there was two separate um, 911 calls. I don't know what that was. Yeah, that's one theory, but one of the things that I found out was okay, between the two of them, they were worth $80 million. Okay, and Gene had discovered some money missing from their account, and he changed all of his passwords. And I'll get to the toxicology in a second. Um, some of the toxicology reports have come back. That's what I will talk about in a second. Um, the security cameras showed a car parked at the house for 2.5 hours. On what day? On the 17th of February, the day that Gene Hackman's um, pacemaker showed the last beat of his heart. But what seems sinister is that his pacemaker did not record a heart attack or an AFib. The pacemaker just suddenly stopped. That his heart just suddenly stopped. That's what the pacemaker recorded. If you're a heart patient, your pacemaker just doesn't suddenly stop. Your heart doesn't suddenly stop. There's always some buildup before that. Your blood pressure goes up. There were surveillance cameras around his house. That's what I'm talking about. Uh, Discovery Quest did a stream on Tuesday, either Monday or Tuesday, and um, they had some preliminary toxicology reports, but not the complete report. And what I thought was disturbing was that Betsy Arakawa is a relatively healthy person. Um, they were the report from Discovery Quest said they were reclusive. They did not go talk to their neighbors, meet their neighbors, have their neighbors over. They just enjoyed being to themselves, but they would talk to the neighbors when they would go on their daily walks, which I find weird, but whatever. But the toxicology, uh, we'll see when the report comes back. But according to Discovery Quest, uh, there was traces of a sleeping pill in Betsy. Right. According to Discovery Quest, he had cameras around his house. And according to Discovery Quest, the cameras showed a unknown vehicle parked in their driveway for 2.5 hours. Okay, for 2.5 hours, there was a vehicle parked in their driveway. And it was parked in the driveway the same day that Gene's pacemaker stopped working. And also, according to Discovery Quest, there were attempted withdrawals of money the same day that his pacemaker stopped working after it stopped working. Yeah, I think it would be, I don't know, have a name, but I think it would be the person who controlled the money. Now, I don't understand why Betsy didn't control the money, that they had a stranger controlling it. Both. The pills were scattered on the counter and on the floor. That's the recent report. That the pill bottle was on the counter and that there were pills on the counter scattered onto the floor, that uh, the space heater, the small space heater that was normally on the counter, was on the floor next to Betsy's head. They did not say that it hit her head, but said that it was next to her head. And new information that when Gene collapsed, that he had his one hand was closed, like he had been grasping onto something that was no longer there, and the other hand was reaching towards the door. Yes, I can understand your point, Zach. It's the reports. See, the police department, I think, is covering up something. That's just my belief. Right. You can't go down the left arm, but my point is that if he had a heart attack, the pacemaker would have recorded it and would have tried to counteract the heart attack. That's what it's built in, that's what it's installed for. And instead of the pacemaker showing a heart attack, we, you know, it did this and this to counteract it. The results from the pacemaker showed the heart and the pacemaker just suddenly stopped. Yeah, I think they know much more, but they're not acting very competent. They're acting rather incompetent because first they said that it was carbon monoxide, but then the uh, report showed that they had the utility company come out and test the air inside the house for carbon monoxide, and lo and behold, there was no discernible levels of carbon monoxide anywhere in the house. Anywhere in the house. And the space heater in the bathroom would not have put off carbon monoxide because it was electric. Electric doesn't put off carbon monoxide. Yes, and 9 days went by, and what I was starting to get at is that there were two 911 calls. The first 911 call was on the 17th of February, and the person said, "Oh, I had I have the wrong number," and they could hear scuffling in the background, and the police department did not dispatch an officer. And then there was the 911 call on the day the bodies were found by the gardener, in which the gardener said they're not alive, and the incompetent 911 officer says, "Well, are they breathing?" The 911 dispatcher says, "Well, are they breathing?" And then two more times after that said, does it look like they're alive? After the gardener already said they're not alive. That's to me that's gross incompetence on both ends. To have a 911 call and you hear scuffling and the person that called says, "Oh, I've dialed the wrong number," and you don't dispatch an officer to check that out. I thought that was common practice. And then for the 911 dispatcher, after being told that the person is not alive, right? Who misdials 911 is right. Just what I see is utter incompetence all the way around. That's just my take on it. And some other things that come out is that there were pills for Hashimoto's disease and all kinds of other pills and Tylenol, all mixed all together. But Betsy did not have, that I know of, Betsy did not have Hashimoto's. Every report I've heard said that Betsy was a healthy individual for her age. And um, the, the sleeping pill, or not the pill, they found traces of a sleeping pill in Betsy, which she's not reported to have um, sleeping problems. I wonder, I wonder if a taser could cause the. I know it can cause the heart to stop, but I wonder if it would cause the pacemaker to stop, just abruptly stop. One of the things they said they found blister packs of Tylenol, and they said that Betsy was very protective of Gene, that she made all of his doctor's appointments and made sure he got to them. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Julianne. Stun gun hit. said the ICD generators and lead functions were not affected. But what I saw is that the pacemaker just stopped. That hit, well, it said that the last recording of his heart beating was on the 17th, and that it did not record a heart attack or uh, or AFib or anything. Said it just recorded that the heart stopped. Well, here's the strange thing about the dogs. They said that when the gardener arrived on the 9th, that the back door was open, that the dogs were just running in and out and doing whatever they wanted, except for the guard dog, which was in the crate in the bathroom. Yeah, I know you're not supposed to own a microwave, well, use a microwave if you have a pacemaker, that just the use of a microwave, if you're standing in front of it, will stop your pacemaker. But this is just bizarre, very bizarre. Excuse me. How, here we are. What is this? Oh, excuse me. Almost 2 weeks after their bodies were found, and no autopsy report, no toxicology report. Um, the one girl, I forget which YouTube channel I watched, that they had this girl on, said that the necropsy report of the dog will come back in a matter of days because most vets' offices don't have a backlog of other dogs to get necropsy, where the coroner's office has dozens and dozens and dozens of people in their morgue waiting for an autopsy. But here's what's unusual about that, Zach. They said the back door was wide open and that the dogs were going in and out of the house. They weren't coming near the bodies at all. So yeah, it was a German Shepherd. And it wasn't 12 years old. It was a couple of years old. In closet is not correct, Zach. It was in the bathroom, which some countries call it a bathroom or water closet. And I think that's where the misnomer is for um, the police reported that when they arrived that the back door was standing wide open. No, it wasn't a closet, Zach. What I read in what um, Discovery Quest also reported was that the the dog's crate was in the bathroom. And now I have not heard that it was a doggy door. I heard that the back door was standing wide open. And uh, the the gardener said that the front door was locked, but then when the police got there, they said that the front door was not locked and that they were able to open the door and just walk in after having the house checked for um, carbon monoxide. Um, that I had not heard that the front door was ajar. The the gardener had said that he could not get the front door open. That when he finally got the front door open, that he discovered um, Gene and Betsy, and the cops needed to come right away because they were not alive. And the stupid um, 911 dispatcher kept asking him, "Well, are they breathing?" Yeah, there's a lot of information and misinformation out there. It's just, you know, just weird. And then I found something out. The same sheriff's department is the same sheriff department that investigated the Rust movie debacle. Right. They said that their hands and their feet were mummified, which, according to Joe Scott Morgan, who's a very good forensic investigator, he said mummification happens in areas that are very arid, meaning very dry. He said Santa Fe is one of those areas where there's very little rainfall. So what happened to Julianne? Did she say she was leaving and I missed it? Yeah. She said maybe we hear more at the upcoming report. Okay, because it shows just one person on from YouTube, and I got two people here. No, mummification happened from the lack of humidity. Yeah, it shows only one watching, and I have you, Julianne, and I have Zach. Yeah, now it went to two. For a while, it was on three. I think it's whacked out today. Whacked out. Yes, but when it's a dry area, when it's a dry area, the when it's a dry area, your body will mummify because it will lose the fluids to the surrounding air. Yeah, smell of a week old body is beyond gross. Yeah, it's something if you ever smell it, you'll never forget it. You'll never forget it. Right. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, what's worse than typos, Zach, is when you do talk to text and you go back and look at the sentence and it puts in words that you never even said. Oh, okay. So, how many else think that the police department's incompetent? Yeah, but the interesting thing, Zach, is that they were both found unalive. Both of them. You rarely have one person die and then the other person die at the same time. Wow, another month? Holy smokes. They're really milking this one, aren't they, Julianne? I understood what you were meaning, Zach, but I was just pointing to the fact that you have one elderly person and his wife was 65 and she was basically his caretaker, took care of him, made sure he got to his doctor's appointments and everything. And then for him to be found unalived and her to be found unalived, it's just very suspicious. You know what I mean? Well, I'm going to get off of here and I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Take care, guys. Love you all. Bye.